Hi, this is Cheryl Brudigam with Designs by Cheryl B. Thanks for joining me. I am going to do a new video tour today of my latest junk journal, and this would be a French lady's junk journal. I got some of the ideas in part off of the Graphics Fairy and changed them up a bit, but the idea with this one was that it's something a French lady would have had throughout her life, and it is unique in that it has a layered cover. So I have it tied together to keep everything in place. Most of them I have to tie because they're too fat, but that's not the case with this one. I just needed to keep everything together. So we'll start off with looking at the layered packs on top. First, there's this little envelope, and this is a printout of 17th century music. And there is a little dog along with a bow. This is a vintage bias ribbon and a little, I think it's like a Greek coin. Okay. Next is an envelope full of goodies, and I have it tied because I also had some more things wrapped with it. But first, I added this ornate decorative cross to the envelope, and inside are some ephemera, vintage cards and photos. I'm not going to untie it, but well, I guess I could. I can just slip it off so that I can show the vintage photos. And just some keepsakes that she might have had. And another wonderful vintage dog. I hand stained all of the photos on the edges with distress ink, although the photos were already prints of vintage pictures. I added the lace to the front of this envelope. Again, I stained everything and then finished it off with that cross. Behind it in the little pack, I have a prayer card, a vintage print prayer card, which I aged. A copy of what would have maybe been an old letter from a friend, which I also aged. To get this look on the paper, I wrinkle it up and then I iron it. And I edge my pages with this one I did in the black distress ink. Here's an old postcard which I did a print, and I put it onto a thicker cardboard and then aged it. So these are some goodies that she had attached. Below here, just a memory card and a couple of more beautiful vintage photos that were also at Graphics Fairy. Printed out, I put them on cardboard, and I aged them with the ink. And one of the ideas they had there in this tutorial was that it had a loose cover for these things to kind of just stack on, so I did that. So that comes off, and then the front cover is just plain. So opening up, I lined it with a kind of a journal graphing paper, and this is fabric. This is a vintage curtain fabric that I had on hand that I used, and I make all of my journals from repurposed cracker boxes, so that's what this is. And it has a very thick spine. It's at least a couple of inches. I haven't measured it yet. And then, as you can see, all the pages and goodies, and I've aged all my pages, so it gives it that really nice crinkly decorative look from the side. Okay, so back to the beginning. I have another vintage photo that I aged, and just an old card. It would have been a report card, that's what it is. So I thought that would go nicely with the little childhood picture. Here I have some of my own designs. I made these little booklet just to hold special things and notes. and it just slips in here, along with the matching card, which matches the border. And then here we have some old looking maps and traveling cards and what would be old posters or postcards from travel. On this page I used a paper sack, a little miniature paper sack, and made a page out of it. So it is bound in. I added a teacup card here and a luggage tag bookmark, which I laminate my bookmarks. And then a tea bag and an old tea advertisement. A card for chocolate, which I also printed out and aged. And then just some old looking newspaper for another page. Another vintage photo that I printed and aged. We have another tea bag and a tea invitation. I don't know if they really do tea in France. Like, maybe they do, but I liked it, so I put it in. Maybe she went to England on a trip and had tea there. And this is a piece of vintage artwork that I printed out and aged. I also added a page made of wax paper, so I made a little pocket on it, and I made this little card, little keepsake card to go in there. So let's see, this is a memories page, and I just put like some silk flower petals in a plastic wrapper with this, you know, kind of cool looking coat of arms and a note, a love note. And I made this little tuck here with just a strip of lace with hearts on it. And this was a postcard print that I made for old perfume. Then here we have a card, just a small card page, and I put pockets on either side. This one with a flower, and this is an older time period, but I've used it in my other journals. I really like it. It's because it's a little envelope with matching notes and has kind of like that Renaissance woman on it. Here we added, I've added one of my quotes along with some lace, and I made a pocket of it. And if you pull this card out, it's just a pretty woman dancing in the moonlight. This is my center, and I just did a doily in the center, so I left it blank because of the doily. This is just an aged, embossed picture of hearts on a clothesline. I just liked it, maybe French country kind of look. An envelope that I aged with another little Greek coin on it, and a little angel card that I made. Another tiny little music note envelope with some vintage looking paper. Two more prayer cards, vintage style, which I aged. I added lace and a ribbon. And then this says, "There is no work in matters of love, only extensions of great joy." And I made this like a luggage tag, but it opens out. I put a brad in the page so that something could be written or placed beneath it. Here we have, I'm going to try to hold this up so you can see this vintage earring that I put just on the side for kind of a page marker. Okay. This card I made, it's on the other portion of the wax paper page. Another doily and aged paper and some a postal stamp of fashion, ladies' fashion from the time period, and some perfume advertisement. And here I made this like a sewing page. So these are real vintage buttons, probably from the 50s or 60s. Lots of fashion ephemera. And here I have added actual pieces of patterns that are vintage. They're from the 60s, but I just wanted to add some pattern paper in. And vintage fashion card. On the back page of that, I made a pocket. This is fabric, and it's out of French fabric. So, and it's got all kinds of goodies in it. It's got a prayer quote, 1 Corinthians 13, and an angel, and some other goodies. So here was just a picture of an antique chair that I liked. So I put that in. There's an envelope on the back. Another one of my little cards that I make. And this one I stained. It's got roses and some old postage stamp prints. And the beautiful writing on it. So this is a lace pocket I made. It comes out. You could use it for other things as well, or you could just tuck letters or whatever inside. One little Christmas angel. I thought it warranted something that might be saved from a Christmas past. This is the Love of Her Life page, and I just got love quotes. And this also, I put another brad for this little angel, and it slides out. And another little tucked in heart there. It comes out. These are both laminated. A blessed prayer, friendship, and a postcard, and a map. So it kind of gives you the impression that maybe he's not the one. Maybe he got away. He's not the one she stayed with. So that's the end of the front half of the book. There are 40 decorated pages here. I decided to leave the second half blank. I tucked in just a little, may have been a nosegay from an event or an occasion of silk flowers. And the rest of the pages in the next section are all blank. So there's plenty of room to add to it, to create, or to just, the pages are pretty in themselves as they are, and they pretty much match exactly the first section. So, and the back is plain. So that's the tour of my French Ladies Junk Journal. I hope that you've enjoyed it, and if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments. This will be in my Etsy shop along with all my other journals, so please come browse. And the address to that will be in the video. So again, thanks for joining me, and have a blessed day.